look good? Love that.
Like I said, we appreciate you.
Got involved, you know, come on.
I mean, small.
Alright, cool. Cool.
Ooh.
Spoon.
Should we? Let me see if I want to get the better ones. I'll like.
Since you're the lady, I'll be a gent, right? You know? Okay, thank you so much.
What's your flirting strategy?
I don't think I'm that great at flirting.
I mean, I'm Nigerian. That's literally it.
You was born with the strategy.
If I'm honest, I kind of just get to the cut to the chase. I'll just go up to him and be like, "Oh, you single?"
Well, shit. Did it work?
But yeah, well, he wasn't. Well, actually, he was very honest, which I liked. He wasn't. He was single, but he said, "I'm single, but I just had a baby. So do what you want with that." And I said,
okay.
"Oh, you know what? I respect you so much for telling me that."
How did you feel about that information?
Oh, I left him alone.
I don't really flirt, because when I flirt, right, just everyone in the room's uncomfortable. So I just decide to like divert away from that and just be myself. Because I mean, I think I'm funny, so they'll catch up on it, that's fine. But if I flirt, then I also then have to think of the next line, and then I'm thinking too much. And then
yeah, it's just
everyone's just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And it just gets a bit weird, so I just decide not to. What's yours? What's your flirting strategy?
I don't have one. Like, can't lie, yeah. People just gravitate towards me.
Dead.
I'm gonna be real, yeah.
I think it depends on where I am, how I'm feeling, but generally, like if I'm into someone and I'm attracted to them, like oftentimes I feel like women are constantly like attacked when it comes to male attention. So like I'd probably wait to see if there's like some kind of sign, to see if I'm kind of reciprocating. So like I feel like women send like choosing signals. So like if she catches my eye and she kind of smiles and we kind of make eye contact, or I can feel like if we're in like a crowded bar and I can tell she's just kind of looking at me, do you know what I'm saying? Like I'll then like make my approach. It's like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, you having a good time?" Just something small, just to see, just to kind of gauge her interest.
No, I get that.
Would that work on you?
But I feel like men need to be very aware of if the woman is reciprocating the energy.
Literally.
So usually for me, like in those situations, that's because I hadn't caught his eye or anything. I would kind of do that whole, if you could actually have his eye, kind of like a little, you know what I mean?
You're
like
saying,
keep looking over.
Do we have anything
yeah,
going on
and then
right
eventually you kind of both waddle into each other at the end of the event. But usually I just use like energy and
just
any person I usually want.
Any person
they usually gravitate towards me.
Just
like, and I'm not even saying that. Like,
just,
it really works.
I believe
think
you.
About it.
I believe
if you're
you.
out and there's a guy, I just think about it in my mind. I'm like, I want him, and it comes round.
Wow, I love that for you.
It comes round.
I wish
the
I had that
universe
power.
works its way.
It really just makes it work for you.
Every time, you know.
Hey, listen, I believe you.
Swear.
I believe you.
I'm not just saying this.
Third time, I believe you. I believe you.
Can you flirt?
If I want, yes, I can.
Give me an example. Just curious.
Well, my favorite place is in parties.
Okay.
Because I know how to move my body, and if I see someone that I want that person, I would just like to know, ooh, my favorite music, and then you go, and you just dance, and you make eye contact, and it's like, you can feel if the energy is there. If the energy is there, it's done.
Puta. Mamma mia.
Amazing. Oh my days.
Blood clot.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've done during sex?
I feel like there's a lot.
Wow.
I mean, I've fallen off the bed multiple times.
How does that happen?
Well, I do that without having sex though, so that's a bit of a problem. But
How? Wait. We need to go back. How do you fall off the bed?
well, okay, do you know what? Funny story. Like when I was at uni, I was really drunk, and funny enough, there was a girl in the bed, and we were getting down to business, right? But I had turned off the bed, like say this was the wall, this is the bed. I turned off the bed this way, fell backwards and hit my head on the wardrobe.
Wow, I can't lie, if I was held and laughed. Did she laugh?
Yeah, no, she looked really worried because I'm pretty sure I gave myself concussion.
Oh, yeah, I would have laughed and then be like, are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah. But
That's
I mean,
so peak.
it is, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it kind
very.
of ruined the whole flow. But
I can imagine.
you know, I think it was worth it for her anyway. But
Debatable.
I don't actually have
Any like embarrassing sex stories?
I feel like there's a lot. I'm pretty like not normal in bed. I'm fire in
Standard.
bed. Not gonna lie.
Mediocre.
No. I'm fire in bed. Let's not get it twisted.
Okay.
But
People who are fire don't usually say they're fire in bed.
but I have to put myself out there. Do you know what I
Okay,
mean? I have to put it all on the table, just so you know, innit? Because otherwise, you know, I'm selling myself short. I don't want to do that. What about you? I feel like you've got some.
I actually don't. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, so you're mid as well then? The silence. Why is there silence? That's worrying.
Because I was shocked. I don't know how to reply. I wouldn't say that. I just don't have embarrassing stories.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Oh, interesting. What's something that you used to believe about sex but no longer do?
Something that I used to believe about sex that I no longer do. Ooh.
That's a very interesting question.
I guess I used to believe in sex a man should always get his, but I don't always believe that now. I think that it's really about having fun, the chemistry, the synergy in that moment, and trying to have as much fun as you can, and just enjoying each other's, like, because realistically you're giving yourselves to each other in that time. So I feel like it's less about the man getting his and more so just about, because that's almost a given almost always, it's more so just about being able to enjoy it, because women don't always necessarily get theirs. So I feel like as long as both of you are enjoying themselves and having as much fun as possible, yeah.
God, that's so politically correct.
Why?
Get his. Do you mean like ejaculate?
You mean nut? That was my first word, but
Okay.
you know.
I like the word ejaculate. I think it's a very clear, clean word.
It's a bit too clinical though, do you understand? We're
I
not in a
love
lab.
it. I think it's quite clinical.
It's not sexy though. I
think it's a really I think it's a very sexy word.
You would say ejaculate.
I don't like the word like cum that much. I don't think it sounds nice.
Orgasm. But orgasm always sounds so very.
Does that apply to men though? Is it the same? Is it equivalent?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then let's just call it that. Anyways, what's something that I used to believe? Something I used to believe.
Pick your brain. I'm very curious. It's no pressure.
I think I didn't understand that you can basically orgasm, we'll say, without actually having is penetrational a word?
Penetration.
But I want to say penetrational sex, but I don't think that actually makes sense. I want to reword that.
No, I think that makes sense. Penetration.
Is that actually a word?
So like.
But you know what I'm saying? Okay, let me reword that. Sex through penetration. There we go. There we go. You can actually like orgasm without that, basically.
I've heard of that. I think you can, to be fair.
Basically through like foreplay, etc.
Yeah, okay, you can definitely.
Which I didn't always think was possible.
Okay, cool, yeah.
I also thought that not every, like some women just can't squirt, but I actually think every woman can, but it's just certain technique.
Technique, and I think also the woman needs to be open to it. I think she kind of has to let go.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you're in too much, then it's not going to happen.
So there were just certain things with sex where I just didn't quite understand or didn't think were possible. But I think it's all down to like the partner, the person, and your body, how comfortable you are. Comfortability is kind of everything, like how relaxed you are.
Absolutely, I agree.
Because if you're tense, like things are just not going to work.
So do you feel like
as smoothly?
Do you feel like that's from personal experience? Is that from talking to your girlfriends? Is that
from personal experience and talking to my girlfriends? Both, really. But I feel like I talk about sex all the time with my friends. Like I'm like the one that talks about it. Yeah, but you know, some people love it a bit more than others. I'm very open about like talking about it and just
being very open.
Let's have a conversation. Like, everybody does it, so
it's very healthy.
What's the big deal, basically?
I think we're prudes. That's why. Like we have a very prudish. Like I feel like North Americans now, they're just they talk about every facet of it, whereas in British culture, and I think to a certain extent, like maybe because I've grown up in London, Londoners as well. Like it's almost like there's like almost like a very prudish mentality around it. When, like you said, everyone has it, everyone enjoys it. Let's be very open about how we talk about it.
And I don't know why we can't just talk about it maturely as well. That's another thing, because people do talk about it, but it's such,
very immature sometimes.
Such an immature conversation. And I just feel like we can all talk about it. Like, let's just chat about it.
Let's just chat about it. Okay.
What did your parents, friends think of your last partner?
What do my parents and friends think of my last partner? I'll say friends, because I'm very picky, so I don't let anyone meet my parents unless it's at a point where it's like, okay, cool, this is serious. For me, I find it, because I'm a real like family person, I find it disrespectful if I'm like, 1 week I'm bringing a girl to my mum, and then 6 months later there's a new girl, and like a year later there's a new girl. My mum's gonna look at me like I'm stupid. Also, for me, I feel like that's a disrespect to my parents as well. So honestly, no girl I've ever dated has actually met my mum yet. Because if you're meeting my mum, that's like, boom, this is serious. We probably gonna get married and shit, you know? And I think maybe because my parents have come from that traditional mindset of, you know, not dating to marry, but there's a level of respect. And I'm just like a revolving door of women coming to my mum. It just looks bad. So I won't go on the parents, but friends, the last person I dated, do you know what? They've probably not got anything bad to say about her. And I'm the type of person, I won't say anything bad about anyone that I've dated previously. Even if it ended badly, I'm like, yo, that was an experience. And I'm going to learn from it from the next experience. But I don't like it when people talk ill of the people that they dated. Unless they did something crazy, like they cheated or they disrespected. I'm just like, yo, end of the day, I'm only going to marry one person. So I'm going to date people in between. And if it doesn't work out, you kind of just roll with the punches to keep it moving. So... okay, I might as well ask you the same question then. So what did your parents or friends think of the last person that you were with?
Well, similar to you, actually, they all love my ex-boyfriend, and we're supposed to get married last year.
Wait, so you engaged?
We lived together for 2 years. We loved each other and was amazing. But for what I wanted, I knew would have some limitations, and I had to take a very tough decision to choose for my future, and we broke up.
Did you break up with him, or was it just like a mutual?
I broke up with him.
Fair enough.
I have to find the one who is willing to go through this process, because we will always have room to improve, you know, and doesn't make sense to choose a different partner every 2 years just because I'm changing. But makes sense to find someone who is mature enough to follow you, or you both grow together.
This isn't in the questions, but I want to pick up on something that you said, talking about the one. I don't believe in the concept of the one anymore. Do you, by any chance? Just out of curiosity.
I think there's no one specific person for us, designed for us in the world that will be our soulmate. I think we have to pick one and make that person become the one.
But what if the person that you want to pick doesn't want to be picked?
So you still single like me?
Nah, I'm saying. Alright, so hear me out, yeah. For the longest time, I've been looking for a sugar mummy. And I shouldn't even say this, but I'm gonna say it. I need a sugar mummy like Tiwa Savage. I swear to you, man. I've been, just once in my life,